Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. We'll do a quick update and I'll jump right into it given my financial opinion. So we have the dollar. The dollar is strengthening quite a bit. I've heard people talk about them defending the dollar. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what in terms of that. But what I have noticed is that we've got these patterns. And then the last bull market, we basically came to a peak a couple of times and broke out to the upside. I think that's happening right now. I think we're going to break to the upside. And then eventually, whenever this tightness in the, or I should say, the weakness in the overall markets persists, if it persists, it will go higher until it doesn't, and then we'll turn back around. I still think that we are in the 2001 timeframe, earlier than what most people think. I think that we're very early to this bull market in all of these commodities. Precious metals does very well towards the back half of the bull market when the inflation is strong, and we have strong inflation. We've got increasing interest rates, and the market, since they're so leveraged up, can't handle the higher interest rates. They are choking with all the leverage in the system. So the leverage is basically coming off. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that. We're seeing people getting a little bit more afraid. We hit our head on the 10-year yield, and some people are buying some bonds, I should say. The yields are coming back, buying bonds. That's what it looks like right here. They're starting to come on back. And I think people are getting a little bit of a lot of fear in the market in terms of a recession. And are we going to get a recession? I have no idea, guys. Maybe not. I think the markets, I should say, I think the drivers behind the market, the real estate market, is pretty strong. I think it's going to take a lot to derail that market, especially from the inventory levels that we're at today. And this all ties together. The demographic is pretty big. Now, will housing slow down? At some point, it definitely will. I just haven't seen it yet in the data. And I think we're seeing signs of it in sentiment. I think we're seeing signs of it in first-time home buyers buying new homes. There's signs out there. We just have to see it in the data to confirm it. And even if it is slowing down, it doesn't mean it's stopped. It just means that we're slowing the rate of change, not slowing in terms of volumes per se. Looking at gold, we were down today in gold. Again, I still think this support line is where we're heading, $1,800-ish. And we'll see what happens when we get there. Silver taking it on the chin much more so than the rest. And we could pull back even all the way down to $17 if it wants to go all the way down there. And what that would be is a full return move of this move. And I am still a huge bull on all of this. And if we get down there, what that's going to mean is that I'm going to buy more physical metals, more of this stuff, because the trend, the demographic is still in place. It is still in place. Platinum getting hit hard, $55 down today. Everything's getting hit very hard today. Right when you think you see a positive, hits the support line. This is the support line I'm talking about, in that line there now. Hit its head and came back. We have support underneath it. Lots of volatility. It is going back and forth all around. It's crazy. Now, I don't own too many of the mining stocks. I'll be honest, I don't. I own mostly royalty companies. But the mining stocks are getting hit pretty hard. They're selling off. This is Karora Resources hitting back towards that support level. It's got that pattern that I'm used to seeing. EXK getting hit down today on the bottom line of that support. I do own a little bit of EXK. I do. I own a little bit of FSM as well. Here is that support level, back to that support level, and we'll see if it holds. We may even go all the way back to $2 a share. SILJ coming on back, selling off today, just like the rest of the crew. GDX getting a little bit of a wick on the bottom. At least that's a good thing to see. We want to see wicks on the bottom. It shows buyers are stepping in. I think we're getting close to the end of the pullback. That's my kind of, when I look at these charts, I think we're getting somewhat close. We just need the buyers to step in here and add some support. We are coming to a lot of these lower term support levels. We may need to go a little bit further on a couple of these stocks left. These small guys, be careful on the exploration companies. These things like to blow out on these type of movements. A lot more risk associated with these. Koya Resources is basically going sideways, or Koya Silver, I should say. Discovery Resources right at support. Little wick at the bottom again. Momentum is still down. I would just be waiting to see where the buyers show up. First Majestic could go all the way back to this blue line down here of that support level. Backing out, it's the blue line down here. Now, if we get to this level, guys, this is a spot that has huge opportunities. I think it will hold, but we'll find out. We'll find out what happens. And in these, usually what I see is like, well, usually it's three humps. You get one hump, another hump, but the hump usually looks like this one. This looks like a third hump, and then you usually get a run, but it looks like we hit the top of this guy and came all the way back to the bottom. But usually there's three humps. 1, 2, 3, and then we hit it, and we didn't break out. We're still within the pattern. Newmont pulling on back. This one's selling off back within the pattern. We've got Mag Silver selling off a little bit, and we could go back a little bit further even. We do have a wick on the bottom. It is a hammer candlestick, so that is positive. We have some upside momentum a little bit. Yamana Gold selling off a little bit. It's creating that pattern that I see all the time. I still think we could come back a little bit further to the downside. Impact Silver selling off. These smaller, more risky plays, they might get sold off harder. And we're coming on back to the bottom line here of support. Aftermath Silver, it is still pulling back. Again, this has downward momentum. We do have a wick on the bottom. We're getting these wicks. It means the buyers are starting to come in here and buy it up a little bit. Remember, this carries more risk. Very risky. I own a little bit of a lot of these. I don't own a large amount. Now, Arcana Silver, it broke out to the downside. It sold off hard. Sold off hard. This could be the slingshot pattern. Now, you got to be brave if you're going to pull this. You got to be brave. This is when the sentiment is the lowest. We've dipped below this line a few times. You better put some research behind it. You got to believe in the company. But here is a really good entry point for those that are ultra brave and are trying to catch a slingshot pattern. And that's all I'm going to say. I do not hold anything in this. I have no stake in it. PLG is coming on back. This could come all the way back to 80-something cents if it pulls all the way back to the bottom of where this is, 89, maybe 89 cents is the low. This could also be doing the double bottom with the slingshot. If the slingshot pattern happens, I mean, you got to be brave to buy it. This isn't my large position holdings. Siboney Stillwater still pulling back some. My larger positions, I own a larger position in Sandstorm Gold. I had accumulated it on these pullbacks here. I had bought some a little bit higher too. And here we are coming back all the way. Now we'll see if this thing holds. If it holds and I start seeing some buying pressure, yeah, Sandstorm looks good. I own a lot in Franco, Nevada. I am up in the I'm up in the stock. I bought it a couple of times in this section where the white line is, but we're coming back to it, and now it's another good buying opportunity whenever it starts to turn back around. EMX, basically a sideways day. Tootin Resources, this is a lot riskier. I had cost average into this one a lot. I still own everything. And basically, my cost averaging in has brought me more towards a neutral position in terms of being up, but it is coming on back. It is selling off. Wheat and precious metals selling off with a little wick at the bottom. We're back within the pattern. Again, this is going to be a good opportunity right when it starts to reverse higher. I think we're going to see it hopefully soon. Gold royalty selling off quite hard. This thing is looking quite poor here, guys. This has got a big sell-off. I'd be very patient there. I still own it. I haven't done anything with it, guys. I'm just holding on to my stuff. Metallo royalty and streaming limited. It's down there, but an update today. I don't really own that much in Metallo. MMX, another one that's at the bottom of this support line, getting a little bit of a wick. We'll see if that holds. Royal Gold selling on off today. Cisco royalties putting on the wick on the bottom, that support line. But that one's, everything's had a rough move here, guys. And then we've got Altius Minerals selling off. That's right below the support line. So that's what I've got for today, guys. It doesn't look too hot for gold and silver, and platinum as well. Lots of selling pressure today. I haven't done anything with any of my positions. I'm just holding, and I'm going to go back and say, look, I haven't all my positions that I should have held longer on all of them, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold longer. And I know some people say, well, what about the ones that are losing, the losing positions? Well, the losing positions, you're going to have a couple of those. But as long as your companies are pretty solid and you have overweighted ones like the royalty companies, I don't think those are going to, they're going to recover. They're going to do incredibly well. All you're getting there is a better buying opportunity. The royalty companies are diversified income streams, especially like a Wheaton Precious Metals or a Franco-Nevada or a Sandstorm Gold. Like these guys have income. So I just don't think I think they're going to be very solid performers. And I think that we're still going to have a bull market because of the demographics, because commodities are outperforming stocks, because on and on and on and on. We have a commodity bull market that's coming. And you should know all of the fundamental drivers of this. If you know the fundamental drivers, then you know that this is a deleveraging type of event. It's a sell everything type of event. And I don't know. My kind of intuition is that some of these are getting driven way down there. They're creating fear in the market, and the banks are going to come in here and buy this all up. That's kind of my intuition. That's kind of what I'm seeing. It's like, man, they're going to come in here, and I think we're getting close to a bottom. I'm just and again, this is just from looking at charts. This is from looking at the pullbacks, and maybe I'll pull something up here in the uranium sector. I'll do it. But we're hitting some of these levels that I think are getting real close to a bottom of some point. And, we're getting closer and closer. And I'm getting excited because I'm going to start buying. I'm going to start laying down some cash here when I start seeing the first sign of strength. So I've just been waiting. And uranium's looking really good for me because we have an energy crisis. And I think that nuclear has to be part of the solution. So when the uranium companies are all way down there, and some of these companies, guys, like they don't make much money. So it is very much speculation on this. They're not cash cows like the oil and natural gas sector. The oil and natural gas sector is my largest position by a long shot, especially after this pullback. It is massively my biggest position, but I still think uranium has a bright future, and I'll be looking. These guys here, I'm sticking to the royalty companies for the main part. I've got my eye on maybe a couple of these silver junior miners after they bottom out and start turning around. But it depends on how much money I have at the time. Depends on what I want to put it at, put it towards, and we'll see what happens. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And check out my website, Platinum Membership's the membership that you want. If you want to join the service, we have a question and answer service or question and answer session coming up Saturday at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. If you want to sign up, be a Platinum member and attend that session, get to hear what I have to say or ask questions on what you want to hear, definitely attend it, and then we'll go through that. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.